Okay, welcome to part 2 of music theory in 10 minutes. In the first lesson was all about telling you how to learn the neck and the order of the strings. Okay, it's all about learning the neck. What I told you about the 12-note chromatic scale is correct in music theory. What I told you about the 7-note major scale is not correct. And this is where things get a little funky. So bear with me. You can stop the tape at any time and go back over it. So I'm going to go at lightning speed. But in music, the only perfect scale is the C scale. And the second thing you need to know is that B and E have no sharp. B and E have no sharp. Have no sharp. And this is very important. The C scale is the perfect scale because it has no sharps. But the other scales do. And I'm going to show you how to find those real 7-note scale according to music theory. Let's start with the C scale. Now, the first thing I want you to notice about the guitar is not so much about what it is, but what it's missing. And the one thing that you need to notice it's missing is the C scale. Now, all music is based on the C scale, and the guitar does not have a C string. What other string doesn't it have? It doesn't have an F string. So notice what it's missing. And the C scale, the scale itself has no sharps. So without a C string, how do we play the C scale on a guitar? Well, we could go to any string and find the C note. This meter, even when I make a mistake, keeps me honest. So if I make a mistake, follow your meter. It's your compass. But anyway, let's go with the C scale. Down here on the A string, the second string, we're going to go, according to the chromatic scale, A sharp, B, C. There's the C note. So even though we don't have a C string, we can play from this position. And the C scale being perfect, the 7-note scale being perfect, there are no sharps. So here we go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So I just played the C scale in accordance with music theory, and there's no C string. And you can do that all over the guitar. Okay? If this is A and this is B on the low E, then here's a C again. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, is that saying C? Well, if this is a B, I can go up the neck. You can go down to find the next note, or you can go up. But my point is, you can find the C note in many places on the guitar. The fastest place is on the B string, the second one. B. There's C. Right there. Even though there's no C string, there we go again. We can go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Isn't that easy? And I want you to find that all over the guitar. And that's why knowing the neck is important. Now, getting to the next scale, we got a problem. Because the C is a perfect scale with no sharps, but the other scales are not. So what we have to do is notice the intervals in the C scale to find the next scale according to music theory. Not according to the neck. I told you how to play the scale, 7-note scale on the neck, but that's not in accordance with music theory unless you play the perfect scale, which is C. Okay? Now, the trick to it has to be shown to you on paper. So I'm going to stop a minute and get a piece of paper. Okay. The test question on the first lesson was which notes do not have sharps? And those two notes are B and E. Remember, without music, the world would be flat. Okay? B and E have no sharp. So what we have to do is look at the perfect scale, the C scale, and we have to notice the intervals. Right here, between the E and the F is a half step. And between B and C, back to C, is also a half step. So when we go to look at the A scale as it is played on the guitar, as it's played on the neck, we have to change the any scale to meet the same interval that we see in the perfect the C scale. So what we have to do, I'm going to stop 1 minute and show you the difference. This scale is how it's played on the neck. But what I'm going to write in here is I'm going to change this to fit the perfect C scale. And I'm going to fill that in real quick. Okay. In the perfect scale, the C scale, there's a half step between E and F and a half step between B and back to C. So if we play the A scale just as I showed you on the neck, it's going to look like this. It's not going to look like the C. We're going to have a half step after B and C. We're going to have we have a half step after E and F. And there's no half step after G and A. So we have to change it to fit music theory. We have to go from A to B is a full step. From B to C is a full step. But here in the perfect scale C, there's a half step between E and F. So to make this thing work, to get a half step between after B to C, we need a full step from B to C, and we don't have one. So we have to go from B to C sharp. Then, in accordance with the perfect C scale, we need a half step between C sharp and D, because there's one here. And so from C sharp to D, we don't have to change anything because that is a half step. And then from D to E is a whole step. From E to F is only a half step. But we need a full step according to the perfect C scale. So we have to go from E to F sharp. And then from F sharp to G is only a half step. From F sharp to G is only a half step. So we have to bump it up to get a whole step from F sharp to G sharp. And then, at the end, things work out better. From B back to C in the perfect scale, there's a half step. From G sharp back to A, there's a half step. So this is okay. Nothing has to be changed. And the same is true with all the scales. We have to do this exercise. Now, I'm going to show you where this half step is. It's right where I got this little diddly. Draw a line if you want. Right there. There has to be a half step. Right here where I got this little diddly mark. There has to be a half step. Okay? So this is playing it on the neck, which is very important to learn the neck. But it's not in accordance with music theory. This is changed to make it in accordance. So where is the half step in the perfect C scale? It's at between the third and the fourth, and it's between the seventh and the eighth. That's why I drew these lines. There has to be a half step there according to the perfect C scale. Now, playing this on guitar is just a simple matter of using your tuner. If you don't know where the C sharp is, just find the C, move up one mark on the neck, and you'll be at C sharp. Now, I've gone to the next scale. This is the test question. The next scale in order would be B. And I've listed the 7-note scale, the major scale, and I've listed it in B the way it's played on the neck. Now, your challenge is to scale to make it in accordance with the perfect C. And on this test, I want you to show me the notes, just as I did on the A scale. This is the way it's played on the neck, but this is the way it is in accordance with music theory. It has to be changed to match the perfect C scale. Now I want you to change the B scale from the way it's played on the neck here, back up to the perfect C scale. Every scale in the 7-note major scale must have the same intervals as the C scale. It's just that simple. Now, for a more detailed lesson, please see Steve Stein on YouTube, Mastering the Neck. And he has many lessons about this, and he will take you all the way up a stairway to heaven. I'm just trying to do this quickly to get you started. Thank you very much. This is Captain Gill. I'm going fishing now, I promise. Have a wonderful day.